Greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining me today on the Moneybag 73 channel, or Shine the Light 73 channel if you're watching this on my other channel. Today we're going to be doing voting video number 70 in this incredible voting video series. Down below in the more info section there'll be a link to the first 69 voting videos if you're interested in checking out some of the other effects that I've covered. Today we're going to be covering Adolf Hitler. Now, I grew up learning that he was hypocritical because he had brown eyes and was trying to create an Aryan race of blonde-haired, blue-eyed individuals. Now, I wanted to start off with this here. Adolf Hitler, eye color.
According to rare historical photos, although Adolf Hitler claimed the Germans were of a superior Aryan race of white, tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed individuals, he himself was of modest height, blue-eyed, and brown-haired.
So history now would have it that he had blue eyes, which I had never heard of before this whole Mandela effect ton of bricks hit me 7 months ago or so. But anyway, the Urban Dictionary, I've noticed, matches my memory of another reality quite often. I don't know about, let me rephrase that. Not quite often, but at least 3 or 4 times I've noticed now that it matches my older memory. So we have a hypocrite for killing Jews. He was half Jewish, claiming everyone that didn't have fair skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes was a Jew. He had brown hair and brown eyes, according to the Urban Dictionary. Now, so here's a picture of the blue-eyed Adolf Hitler, which I've never seen before in my entire life. I believe this is an actor here. But you'll see blue-eyed pictures, and history has it that he had blue eyes. Now, let's be honest here. Most of the pictures I ever remember seeing of Hitler were black and whites. So I don't ever recall seeing him with blue eyes. But I do remember what I told you, that he was a hypocrite for wanting to just have blue-eyed people when he himself had brown eyes. So I looked at some books here, and here in this Misconceptions and Misuses Revealed book, you have, at about the same time, the brown-eyed, brown-haired Adolf Hitler convinced Germans that foreigners were bad, and so on. Here we have another book, The Revelation of Esther, and it's a vicious brown-haired, brown-eyed madman named Adolf Hitler. So this is what many people are saying they always remember. This is what they were taught growing up. Hitler off as Adolf Hitler, a stubby little Austrian with a flabby handshake and shifty brown eyes and a Charlie Chaplin mustache. Now, in some of these photos, the mustache looks wider than the photos I remember seeing my entire life. It seemed like his mustache was thinner, but that's just something else I've noted by looking at all this. I'm not going to do a separate video on that or anything, but here we have Hitler focused his cold brown eyes on the scientist in front of him that had been forced to work as a doctor for the last several months. Fallen Shall Rise book. And here's a book, Parallel Journeys. We know a little bit about that, huh? From his French ancestors, he had inherited his dark, wavy hair and brown eyes from his French ancestors, according to this author. Now here we have the blue-eyed Adolf Hitler here. So please thumb this up if you agree with me and you were taught that he had brown eyes and he was a hypocrite. And thumb it down if you always knew he had blue eyes. This one is kind of unsettling to me. It kind of makes me feel like Eli Whitney, who I was taught was a black man, who invented the cotton gin. And it was ironic that the black man invented the cotton gin, which, you know, caused more slavery and more blacks to be working in the fields. That's what I learned. It was just, that was the situation, okay? It was an ironic situation, and that's what I thought my whole life. That's what I learned when I was younger. Well, it turns out Eli Whitney is a white guy who went to Yale, okay? I've asked a lot of people, my mom and dad's generation, and they recall a black man. That's what they were taught as well. I already did a video on this, but this blue-eyed thing kind of reminds me of this here Eli Whitney thing. So that's it. There'll be more videos to come. I put together a compilation of some of my work the past 6 years. And if you haven't checked that out, please go to my channel and look at the Mass Awakening video I just did. It's a half-hour long video. I put a lot of work into that. I've been on this journey for a long time. This journey of awakening and just knowing that shift in consciousness was coming for humanity, and I didn't know that only some people were going to be aware of that shift. That's one of the hardest things I'm having dealing with all this. One of the hardest things it's been for me is trying to figure out like the separation of the wheat from the tares type thing in from a biblical perspective. Just, I don't know. I just haven't been able to get a grip on that. I mean, no one's really been able to get a grip on this whole thing. I mean, let's be honest here. This is just totally mind-blowing. And I watch all these kids. You know, a fascinating thing before I let you go here. I sit here and I search Mandela Effect videos daily now for almost 8 months. Okay, I know that's a little bit compulsive, but this is mind-blowing, okay? And I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about by saying that. This is incredible things. One of the biggest things that happened in human history, in my opinion, that noticing our reality shifts. So anyway, I watch these videos and I see tons of young kids aged like 10 to 14 making these videos daily, like 5 to 10 of them. And they're just saying how they're blown away by Kit Kat and Skechers and Mirror on the Wall and Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. All the main big ones that we all heard about in the beginning. And it just, some of them are just saying how just shooken up they are and how they, you know, it hurts their head and it just makes them angry and stuff. And I remember that in the beginning when this all hit me like a ton of bricks. I was on the couch for a couple days, like looking around going, you know, what's happening in my reality? It's such a crazy, weird feeling. I know a lot of you have that feeling happen to you as well. So this is just an incredible thing, and it'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds. I feel like I have so much more research to do now, and that's all I've been doing for 6 or 7 years. But there's no time for sporting events. It just, I don't want to take away from people who enjoy their entertainment, but man, it just makes me feel awful to imagine myself sitting there watching grown men throw a ball around and just put so much emotion into that while all this other stuff is happening. And this time is, there is no time, but it's just, everything's going so fast, and I want to know more and more. That's just me. And I think a lot of you who watch this channel are that same way. I just want to know more and more, and every day is an incredible day where I'm now trying to create the reality that I always wanted. And I know that that's possible. I know the Mandela effect has taught me a lot of things. It's just an incredible time to be alive, everyone. I'll let you all go. There'll be many more videos to come. Please subscribe and vote on the video, please. Talk to you all soon.